Welcome to the latest Vodcast. We're at Mills CNC in Leamington Spa and we're at the Infinite Opportunities event. So Tony, thanks for having us along at Mills CNC today. Tell me about Infinite Opportunities.
Well, Infinite Opportunities is the name of our open house that we're having this year, and effectively what we're just trying to say to people is that the opportunities that Mills and Doosan offer are infinite. And we haven't had an open house for probably 10 years now, but we just felt that with the amount of new products that we've been launching into the market this year, it was about time that we did it. Obviously we're at MAT, we've got an 800 square metre stand at MAT next year, but we've got other new products to show again. So we just felt really it was the right time. Possibly would have maybe liked it slightly earlier in the year, but we had to wait for the VCF to come in. The first one sold, so that only came in 2 weeks ago, hence it's the nearest one to the door. Basically, our stock, we order now what we see in 6 months. So we had to wait for the VCF to come in. Last week was half term, so not a good week.
Yeah, couldn't get the child labour setting stuff up.
Yeah, you know, but there was just with the VCF, with the SMX, with the new Siemens machines that we're doing now, Puma 5100 LYB.
The Siemens, does that change in terms of control systems or?
Yeah, well, I mean, effectively, I think most people know Mills as a FANUC control supplier. We've also done Heidenhain for quite a few years, but with Heidenhain, most people know that they want a Heidenhain control. It's almost like you haven't got to sell me that. I know it's the machine. I want a Heidenhain control. But there's a growing market sector now where people, they've got Siemens controls and they want to keep it the same. So we were almost really, Doosan have been building and supplying Siemens controls for quite a few years, but for really the European, German market and the UK, we didn't bring them in. So we made the decision that we'd start to do that, and we've put 6 into the market already. We've only been doing it for a couple of months. So, and they are sales that we wouldn't achieve if we hadn't got the Siemens control, because they were users.
As if you've got different controls, I've been there, I know if somebody likes a control, it's very difficult to persuade them or sell them otherwise, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, how's the show been?
Show's been fantastic. This is obviously the second day. We had 85 people through the door yesterday, which, you say, come mid-afternoon starts to go a bit quiet, but I'd almost say in the morning there was times when it was almost not manageable. But today has been something similar. What I would say is we've had blue chip companies and we've had, you know, small to medium sized businesses. We've had orders at the show. So without doubt it's been the right decision for us to do it.
And some would say this year's been a tough market. And I mean, would you concur with that?
Without a doubt, I think it is a tough market. I think it continues to be so. I think there's busy pockets within the market that, you know, everybody is trying to exploit. And, you know, without a doubt, what we have to do, like I said earlier on, we order machines 6 months in advance. So we have to make sure that we've got the right stock for those pockets of business. So on a whole, you know, we're still selling 30 machines a month. You know, we'd almost like a bit more.
But you're excelling in it if there are difficult market conditions. You're excelling in that. But Mills isn't just about the machines; it's about the support, training. I notice here today the training academy. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the CNC Training Academy is almost like a business within our business. Because the Training Academy is not just for purchases of Mills machines. Obviously, people that buy our machines, they get training included with the sale from the Training Academy. But it's more than that. It's for people that have got an old machine, they've got a new operator they want training. They can come here for that training, or we go to them. We have 3 bespoke training rooms here. We have about 30 simulators here. We do operator training. We do we do programmer training, we do maintenance training. So it really is the full package, and it's not just for Mills users. It's for anybody, training academies, for apprentices.
I mean, training's a key thing for any engineer and company, but thanks for having us here today, Tony. It's been a really good day.
No, MTD are always welcome at Mills, and I appreciate your time and effort today.
And I thought I might have seen you last week when I was at the opening of a new training facility for one of your customers, Silverson Machines. We took the opportunity actually to interview Michael Portillo, so let's cut to that interview. Michael, how good a statement is this for British manufacturing, what you've seen today?
I think it's an excellent statement, and I must say it's all been a surprise to me. I had no idea that there was precision engineering to be found in Chesham, and indeed a company that has been in existence for a long time, which is a family business, long established, and doing really great work. As I've gone around, I've been looking at some of the crates in which the products are being exported. I think 85-90% of the product is exported, and the destinations from the United States, China, Israel, Saudi Arabia, France. I mean, it simply is the sort of global map.
And I mean, over recent years, obviously the current incumbent government has been trying to introduce apprenticeships. This is a good endorsement for that with this training centre.
It certainly is. I mean, I think the company's intention had been to take on 4 apprentices this year. It turned out in the end that they took 6, and that's up on 4 that they took last year. What also struck me is that whilst many employers are complaining that they can't get people of the quality they want coming out of the schools and the colleges, the company actually reports that the 6 who have been taken on this year are very good. They're very, very pleased with them. So I very much hope that they're going to stay the course. Talking to one apprentice now, I think he has a very clear impression of what his future is with this company.
So I think what was really good about the interview with Michael there, it's about training. And I noticed on the news as well the other day that there's a new UTC opening in Leeds, September 2016, where they're going to have the capacity for 600 students, which shows embraces youth in manufacturing.
I think that's going to be one of the key points in this vodcast, is about investment and really sort of putting money into the industry. And I like to see that people said that Michael Portillo actually wanted to come and see MTD at that thing.
Of course he did. Everyone does.
Absolutely. So guys, moving on though, what we want to do in this vodcast is go a bit over the videos, but also news and what's pertinent to the manufacturing industry. So I'm going to put you on the spot, Joe. 3D printing. Tell me a bit about that and what's going on in that industry.
Well, it's an arena that changes daily. There's new materials you read about daily. It used to be plastics, obviously now it's metals, it's titaniums, Inconels, cobalt chromes for the medical sector. So yeah, we're seeing it in all sorts of different arenas basically, but it's on aircraft, it's in Formula One cars. It's not the future, Colin, you know, the future's here today.
Absolutely. But 2 things I'd raise out of that. If you're printing something, is it going to have the same integrity as a solid piece of metal? And also, will it be the demise of the engineering industry?
Well, to answer the second question, absolutely not. But in terms of the structure, it tends to be, the big advantage is you can print a honeycomb structure, so it reduces probably 80 or 90% of the weight of the material, but you don't compromise on the rigidity of the component. So it's lighter. You can, within 24 hours, you can design something on a computer, come home the following day and it's printed, it's sat there waiting for you in loads of different materials.
But it's not, you're not going to go into every machine shop and see a 3D printing machine replacing a machining centre or a lathe. Yeah, in my opinion, I think it's brilliant technology, and I think it's there to be embraced.
You're not going to get the big runs though.
But well, that would be my question.
Not,
is it about
production? Not as it stands, but it works in my eyes in tandem with a vertical machining centre. If you've got a component where you've got loads of lugs coming off, you currently have a really large billet or forging, but if it's low volume, you don't want to be doing forging. It's a very expensive operation. So you'll have a smaller component, and you'll print the lugs on. So you'll turn it on a turning centre, and you'll
open a can of worms here, gentlemen. So I think watch the video.
You can see a hybrid Mazak, which has got additive manufacturing. It is actually the Integrex, or it's the i400 AM, which has got additive manufacturing. And I see massive potential for them with that machine. You see that at the EMO Encore event in December.
Right, moving on then, because I've definitely opened that can of worms there.
Yeah.
Now, the economy is always key, you know, people want to know what's going on. Inflation, the CPI is actually negative at the moment, but what about the manufacturing industry?
Well, a lot of talk this year about how things are a lot quieter than they were last year. You know, the last 2 or 3 years have been very buoyant for suppliers, such as mills and equipment suppliers and engineers. But this year people have been saying, well, it's not quite as good as it was. Actually, the reality is that that the UK manufacturing has roared back to life. And I was reading a story this week that the Purchasing Managers Index has hit its strongest reading since June 2014. So manufacturing is...
So whatever engineers are telling you, it's not all doom and gloom.
It's not.
You've got to be careful not to be negative, haven't you? Engineers are very, if they're quiet for a week, all of a sudden it's a recession. We're not in a recession, are we? There's still a lot of work out there.
And even when we are, we choose not to participate in it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, tying in with that then, you know,
Didn't get that
some
gag.
people, some people are saying it is quiet. What I see in the news as well, big investment in the nuclear industry. I saw last night in the news as well, they're asking companies to turn their lights off overnight and things like that because of the demand. They're investing in nuclear, China and things like that. I think that's opening opportunities to engineers.
Yeah, absolutely. The typical, you don't hear a lot about nuclear in this country, but it's an emerging market, it's a growing marketplace. And if I was, we talk a lot about oil and gas on this show, and there's no secrets that, oil is cheap at the moment, so they're not drilling. So there's a lot of subcontractor engineers who are exposed at the moment within that sector. So if that was
don't
me,
want engineers to expose themselves, mate.
but if that was me, I'll be taking advantage of things like the Regional Growth Fund, and I'll be looking to diversify into nuclear. You can be working with, I know AMRC have got a nuclear division, which will help you along the way, but the materials are similar.
So
the
there's grants
components are
available
similar.
to enable them to move into that industry.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
What a wonderful opportunity as an engineering business, have an investment from an outside source to enable you to get into a new sector, but a new sector that's growing.
Talking of new sectors then, investment in digital. Now, I look at digital, I think, what's that got to do with engineering? But
Well, that's right. I mean, I was looking at another story which was saying that that digital is going to affect manufacturing going forward. And they're actually saying that there's going to be a boost of 98,000 jobs as a result of the digital media.
But when you say digital, what do you actually mean?
Well, that's what I drilled into, because I was thinking, well, how can digital affect manufacturing? And the reality is that digital is all over manufacturing. You look at robotics, for example, from Fanuc. You look at CAD/CAM from your Open Minds, your Dell Cams. Those types of technologies are all digital, and they are helping people become more productive. And really, that leads into 3D printing as well. That's digital. So when they actually say that digital is going to boost manufacturing, it is. And as I say, there's a statistic that says that that digital will bring 98,000 new jobs into manufacturing over.
I think enough of the news. We've opened a big can of worms there in all sorts of aspects, so we'll leave you to sort of have a chat in your workshops and things like that. Absolutely. Now, what I want to do is move on to the videos for this month, or recent videos, because there's some great videos out there. We've seen the Michael Portillo one, or Michael Portillo's in the MTD one, but creative instrumentations, that's what it...
Yeah, we visited the company down on the south coast. It was a really clean machine shop. You often go into machine shops and there's swarf everywhere, and this facility was very clean. They'd got CMZ lathes, they'd bought 2 of them in recent times, and they were multi-axis machines, and they've saved a massive amount of time as a result of buying their machines from their medical part.
Couple of key points of why they wanted those CMZ machines though.
Well, it was really because they are, as a business, they're evolving into being able to not only manufacture, but design, manufacture and assembly. And they were looking at, as a package, being able to reduce the throughput time of the part from start to finish. And the CMZ lathes have assisted them in that because they're multi-axis. They don't have to take the parts off and put them on a milling machine. They can do everything on the machine.
Why CMZ though? Why not all the other Y-axis machines?
Nigel at the business has... he's been in the machine tool industry a long time, and it's CMZ. This was the first opportunity he's had in his career to actually make a decision on machine tools, and his decision was the CMZ.
I think there's a couple of things as well. Motor in the spindle, is that right?
Yeah, he liked the fact that the CMZ lathes have got plenty of power. They're very well built. They've got direct drive spindle motors. They've got lots of power. They've also got their turrets have got 16 stations on them, which is quite different. Most machines have 12, so the 16 stations means you can have more tools on the machine.
What controls they use?
And they use the Fanuc control system, but they use the latest Fanuc control system, which is the 32i on those machines. So all of those factors. I mean, we were talking about also about thermal growth. You know, they need to achieve the best.
Sorry, it's a bit noisy. I thought you said verbal growth there, mate.
they need to machine their parts to the most accurate they can. And when you've got factories that changing temperatures, you need machines that can accommodate that, and the
Now,
CNC
Joe,
is very good at that.
enough of Paul. It's not all about him today. Lubriserve, what have they been up to? I think they've got a new license for a product.
Yeah, Dormatech, the official agents for Dormatech within the UK, and there's going to be some big news announced fairly shortly on that as well, which we won't go into today. But Dormatech, it's oil and mist filtration effectively. They were a global leader in that industry, but very little share in the UK. But it's a market Lubriserve know very well, and they're going to do a great job for that product.
And good on health and safety as well, which is key these days.
You'd be amazed. You go around a lot of these machine shops, and you can't believe how many haven't got a mist extractor, can you? It's ridiculous. You're breaking HSE laws every day. It's ridiculous, but it's getting better, isn't it? It's getting a lot better.
Now, again, we're going to go back to investment. Did we mention that the university up in Leeds is going to be set up?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Absolutely. But you've been out to see the Ajax machines up in Preston?
Yeah, their new iSTEM centre, like Preston College, like you say. They went to a number of machine tool builders, and they went with Ajax machine tools because that's what they didn't ask the students. They asked the people who were going to be employing the students when they were qualified, and the majority of them actually said Ajax machine tools in that area. And there was features I liked on the machine, the fact that they could pick whatever control they liked. Obviously, they were a cost-effective solution, but and loads of technology.
I thought it was a really good video you did with Ian on the lathe as well, the Ajax lathe.
Yeah, it's great. It's an entry-level lathe, but when we look at some of the machines behind us, there's a lot more technology. But when you see the price of the machine, I'd look at them if I'm
It
honest.
also gives the students a good grounding so they can then step up.
Exactly. It's a FANUC control, which is probably 80% of the UK has that control.
But I thought with the Ajax ones, they can have all different controls.
Yeah, they can.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. Now, Paul.
Talking about controls,
Controls.
Herco.
Herco.
WinMax 4 to WinMax 5. Seen
Okay,
it?
so what's the difference?
I mean, there's a lot of differences. You'd have to watch the video in detail, but it's beautifully finished. Got fantastic screens on it. A screen that's also go on.
Well, it's actually the screens on it are better than my one at home, so I might invest in a machine tool just so I can get a better.
It would be worth it. It would be worth it. You can watch lots of stuff on it, especially if you like code, which I know you do.
Big fan of code.
Yeah. But it's beautifully laid out, and Colin there did a really good job of telling us the differences between the Max 4 and the Max 5. If you're a Herco user, it's a really good video to show you the transition between, or what is the latest control.
Gotcha. And little things like it's got a light on the hand control and things like that, just to help the engineers out.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of attention to detail.
Breton.
Brilliant. You were there, I know. Really good review on that machine. We did two reviews on Breton machines, a 5-axis machine and also a gantry-style high-speed machining centre, which was 3 metres in the x-axis by about 2 metres in the y. And the speed of it was unreal. The multi-axis capability of the head, but really what the machine was about is about metal removal. And I mean, it's a phenomenal amount of material. You're probably going to ask me to quote it, and I can't remember.
No,
you might even know.
I wouldn't put you under too much pressure.
The speed of the Breton machines and the premium quality of them really stood out for me.
Who sells that in the UK?
That's Lead Machine Tools.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, next one you do, X-Track.
Yeah, really good.
So if you want a new gearbox.
New gearbox. X-Track, they're a manufacturer of gearbox. We put Martin on the spot and asked him, why would you buy a gearbox from X-Track? And he was very glowing in how good their gearboxes are, but their gearboxes are manufactured using Matsura's machines. And
It's a good interview, isn't it? He's really passionate about his product, which is always good to see.
Those two machines are
and the
absolute
machines.
beasts, aren't they?
And they're
really
very
are.
passionate about Matsura as well. That machine shop is full of Matsura machines. And I challenged him a bit and said, well, look, why the Matsura? And he was like, well, it's Matsura. This is the high-end machine tool that we need for our quality products.
Things like the amount of tools it holds, though.
Yes, yeah. Was it 100, 240?
No, 200. Well, he actually said 241.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking the one on the side must be the engineer holding the screwdriver, but you might want to push back on that one. Right, ETG. I know we see them, and obviously supply machine tools, but turnkey solutions.
Well, they've got a new facility in Wellesbourne,
Yep.
which they're using to stock a lot of their machines. As the business grows, they're selling more, they're bringing more stock in. And they also do their turnkey projects from Wellesbourne. And we went in on an invitation from the guys there to go and look at a Nakamura turning centre that had automation with it and was a gantry loader. And it really, I think the video actually shows Engineering Technology Group are known for supplying lots of machines and quality machines, but what they're also known for is their capabilities when it comes to turnkey solutions. When engineers go, here's a part, I need 500 of these in X amount of hours, times, to this
That can run
tolerances.
for like 10 hours at a time, is that right?
Yes, it can do. Yeah.
And interestingly, it's actually a Nakamura gantry loader, isn't it?
It is.
It's not a
Yeah,
third-party product.
It's not a third-party product.
Now, that ties in nicely with automation, because you've been out Tame and you spoke to Martin at Anatronic, because they've invested a lot of money.
They have. They've got 2 automation systems from Lang, supplied by Tame Workhold in the UK. And that's a very popular system. We're seeing a lot more of these systems. But it's an entry level. The challenge you had at Anatronic, it's quite a small business, maybe 20 employees. And you'd find the director there, Martin, he was working day and night. So he had obviously issues at home where he's not at home with the kids, which none of us like. And he looked...
Well, it depends how well behaved the kids are, I suppose, but that's another sort of Simple's kids. Anyway, moving on.
Sorry, mate. He looked in the marketplace. He wanted to reduce the hours he was at the factory, but have no effect on the business. It's actually gone the other way. He works less hours. It's actually increased turnover and profitability.
Okay.
Just with those 2 automation cells.
Those automation cells, the return on investment was some ridiculous amount of time, wasn't it?
He said 2 years, but off camera he told me it's just under 2 years. It's more like 18 months. And that was handled by Tame Work Holding and Matsura. He's very passionate again about his Matsuras. He loves
2 years
machines.
return on investment. Why wouldn't you invest? Absolutely. Next one then, and I think we're going to go back to this, is the 3D solutions, because you met with HK and 3D solutions.
Yeah, we've seen them a couple of times. Saw them at the TDT show. We've also been to their
TDT or TCT?
TCT. Thank you.
It's easy for you to say, mate.
Yes, another client TDT. But yeah, and they've got the latest technology on their stand, as you'd expect from HK. But going back to what we were saying earlier, it's from a marketing perspective. It goes in helicopters, it goes in aeroplanes, it goes in cars, it goes inside a human being. It's everywhere, 3D printing. But obviously on this show we're concentrating on manufacturing, and it's going to be it already is. If you go into a decent aerospace subcontractor, they will have a 3D printer. They will have one.
Don't they print the ejector seats for helicopters as well?
If you say so.
He's not the brightest bulb in the
He's
shadow.
a clown. He's a clown.
Right, now, we mentioned Anatronic and the automation, but they're also doing the EDM machine. They've got a new one there, the River 300.
Yeah, the River 300, it's a well-established machine. They've got lots in the field, but they've had a challenge at Anatronic where it's a popular machine, but if somebody wants a little bit extra, such as a 4th axis, a rotary table, it goes from say £25,000 roughly up to 40, 50, 60,000 pounds, and it's quite a big jump just for that because they needed a bigger machine. Obviously, then you've got to buy the 4th axis itself. But now they've come up with a price point of around £30,000 for the fully programmable
and retrofit as well. Is that right?
Yeah, that was a big part of it. They don't want to, they don't want to ignore their current clients. There's a lot of them in the UK, so you can obviously have it as a retrofit as well. It takes a few hours, and Anatronic handle that for you as well. But it's a great product. I know we did a video for the launch, and they sold 2 within a week, I think.
Well, I think those videos just show how important it is because they've got a massive amount of views on there. So I'm going to sort of wrap it up now.
Well, I just wanted to mention the Samsung stand was really impressive at the EMO show, and I basically went round all the machines and had a look at what they've got to offer in a very brief sort of minute and a half video, but it gives the viewer a flavour of the extent of the Samsung range which is available from Dugard in the UK. Huge. Anything from vertical lathes to oil country lathes up to twin turret turning centres. We did essentially a showroom snapshot around the whole stand, and it was good. It was good.
Well, that's opportune actually, because what I'm going to ask you to do is have a wander around here. So Infinite Opportunities, go and have a look at all their different machines, but you've got 1.5 minutes to do it in. So
really? Gee whiz.
Put him on the spot. Yes.
Absolutely.
I like
so
that.
in the meantime, I think this podcast has been key in terms of looking at opportunities, manufacturing, investment, not just in technology, but also in the people as well. So that's great. Thank you for giving us that. And then what we're going to do now is go to Mark, who's at Advanced Engineering.
Thanks, Colin. I'm here at Advanced Engineering Show with Matthew from the Renishaw stand. Matthew, tell me a little bit more about this new software you have.
Hello, Mark. Yes, this is Modus 2. It's a new way of how we present our programming for 5-axis probe heads. Traditionally, I think it's fair to say quality engineers, metrologists are quite conservative, and although the benefits of 5-axis technology is well understood, and particularly in terms of its throughput improvements, where you can get benefits of up to 3 times improved throughput, people are somewhat put off or concerned, let's say, in how you program those features. Modus 2 allows users to develop programs in a way that involves minimal user input. So all the complex moves you see between features are automatically generated by the system itself. So all you need is the CAD model with the fixturing. All the moves are safe, automatically generated.
So would I say that the type of software that you develop would apply to any manufacturing company?
Absolutely, and particularly those that are frustrated by the lack of throughput within their quality department.
Mark, thanks for that. What a great piece of technology. Now Paul's ready down in the showroom.
So a very quick flavour here on the last day of what you've missed if you haven't made it to the show. On the left hand side here we've got the Minx 6500. This is a 50 taper machining centre. On the right here we've got the D&M 400 Doosan machine, which has got the latest Siemens control, which Tony talked to us about, that's now available on their machining centres. On the left we've got two 5-axis machines. We've got a D&M 350, small compact machine. We've got a slightly bigger version of a 5-axis on the left there, which is the VC 630. So two 5-axis machines on show here, or has been over the last couple of days. On the left here, another highlight, the SMX 3100 mill turn machine. This is it's a turning centre with milling capability. It's one of the latest machines in the Doosan range, the SMX, very popular for complex component manufacture. You can see the tool changer on the left. It's driven by a FANUC control. Then as I move round to the right hand side here, we've got all the turning centres on the right here. This is new at the show. This is a 5100 LY. It's a long bed turning centre. This machine is a big chucking machine. You can see it has got mill drill capability. It's very chunky, heavy duty machining, box guideway machine, one piece heavy duty casting. So that's the 5100 LY. The Y-axis means you can do complex component machining, off-centre milling and so forth. Keeping with turning centres, here on the right we've got a 4100M. This would be a kind of 12-inch chuck type machine, 15-inch chuck. I think you can even go for a bigger chuck than that as well. This is a mill drill machine, long bed turning centre, again, FANUC control. Machining centres, there is another one here. This is with a Heidenhain. This is the DNM 500, showcasing really that the Mills machines from Doosan do come now with either FANUC, Heidenhain, or as we spoke about earlier, Siemens controls. That machine's got a 4th or 5th axis table on it, which is good for flexibility. Moving down to smaller machines, we're now on a 3100 Y, so this is a Y-axis turning centre, FANUC control again. As I move towards this machine, perfect subcontractor's machine really, you've got a 12-inch chuck, big, beefy, heavy duty, with the Y-axis as mentioned. So that's another turning centre. We're all turning down this side, and here we've got, as we go down in size again, a 2600 SY, sub-spindle Y-axis, more one-hit machining. If you don't need the multitasking capabilities of the mill turn SMX that we spoke about, the 2600 SY, one of the most popular sellers here at Mills CNC. Onto a fairly new model as well, the 220 LSY. This would be a great seller. We're talking about a long bed version of the Lynx machine. It's a sub-spindle and a Y-axis. That's the Lynx range. It's got a parts catcher and a conveyor on there for production. This is the baby of all the Doosan machines. Lynx 220, 50mm bar machine, or around about the 50mm bar machine, straight 2-axis turning on that machine. Sell a lot of those as well. One of the other highlights, the VC F850 LSR, 5-axis travelling column machining centre. Brand new to the Doosan range. This has got an integrated 5-axis or C-axis table. This particular machine has got a B-axis head, which enables you to do your 5-axis machining, whether it be simultaneous machining or positional machining. So this has been another one of the highlights here at the show. This VCF has been attracting a lot of attention. As Tony told us earlier, they've sold this particular machine. The event's come to a close now. It is the end of day 2, and they've reported a really successful show. It's been great to have been hosted here by Mills CNC at the Infinite Opportunities event. I hope you've enjoyed the vodcast, and we'll see you on the next one.